Okay, we're going to talk about paying for college, the different ways that you can pay for college. And so what a grant is it's going to be money from the government. Okay, this is something that you're going to fill out an application for, and this is for lower income students. Okay, so it's for those lower income students. When your parents don't make a whole lot of money because the government wants to help those students get to college as well. All right, you do not have to pay it back. All right, so feel free to pause this whenever you need to, if you need more time writing. So a grant is your high school counselor will help you find the application, and your parents will help you fill it out, and then you send it in, and they'll let you know whether you qualify, if you can get this grant or not to go to college. All right, savings is exactly what it sounds like, all right? Usually your parents or grandparents, they will save money, okay? So they'll put money into an account over years, all right? So maybe go home and ask your parents if they have a savings account for you. If not, that's okay, but you just need to know and kind of base your, I guess, your plan for high school. If you need to get really, really good grades in order to get a scholarship, at least you'll know now that you don't have a savings plan to fall back on. Okay, if you do, great. Now the details on the savings plan. Are you going to plan ahead? Absolutely. Years in advance, you got to. Your parents will start saving, and it's their or your money. All right, meaning you don't have to pay it back. All right, and you get to decide which parts of college you want to pay for, or your parents get to decide. But it's your money or their money, and you don't have to pay it back. All right, so a scholarship, you've heard of like football scholarships and baseball scholarships, but there's also academic scholarships based on your grades. There's also lots of other scholarships for different things, very specific scholarships. Maybe you have volunteered with the Lions Club, which is just an organization that usually most larger cities have, and they just do a lot of good things for the community. If you volunteer for them, the Lions Club might have a scholarship that you can apply for. But what it is it's going to pay, it's going to be part or all of your college is paid for. Okay, so they're going to give you money, but you have to earn it. Okay, so it could be pay for part of your college, or it can pay for all of your college, depending on how big of a scholarship that it is. But they don't just hand out scholarships to everyone. You have to earn it, okay? So you have to earn this scholarship by applying, which means filling out an application, and then meeting the requirements, meaning if it is a Lions Club scholarship, did you volunteer with the Lions Club? If it's an academic scholarship, were your grades high enough? If it's a football scholarship, are you going to go play football? I mean, you have to meet the requirements for the scholarship, and there are lots and lots of different scholarships out there. Your high school counselor will help you with that as well. So all of these so far do not have to be paid back. Okay, none of these have to be paid back. Now your loan, this is the first one, and we talked about loans yesterday. All right, this is money that's going to pay for college, but you borrow this from the bank. Okay, so you borrow from the bank, and when you graduate, that's when you have to start paying it back. So you borrow it from the bank pays the college, and then you have to pay it back when you graduate. Even if you don't find a job, they still expect you to start paying it back. So if you can do these other things before a loan, I would definitely suggest it. Now, another thing about a loan, we learned about interest yesterday. Remember, interest is that percentage or that piece or part of your balance, how much you owe. And it's like extra money and fees that they're going to charge you. All right, so you're going to get charged extra interest and fees, and you have to pay it back. Okay, you have to pay it back. So this is the only one on this list that you have to pay back, is a loan. All right, a work study is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to work in your field of study, right, or somewhere on campus. So it's not like you get a job at McDonald's down the street. That's not a work study, that's just a job. So a work study is where you're going to work and earn money at school. All right, so for example, you might work in the education department. You might work in the science department doing things that they need done. And this is something that you can go apply for, just like you apply for a job when you get to school. All right, the only thing with work study is you might not get all of the hours that you need. So if you need quite a bit of money, maybe you're paying for all of your money, all of your tuition, all of your college by working. Some schools will limit your hours, meaning you're probably not going to get as many hours as you need to cover your whole school tuition bill. All right, you might have to do a work study program, work on campus, and then maybe at night get another job somewhere else if you want to pay for all of your college with working. So what they're going to do is they might ask you some questions about this. Okay, so you're going to use your notes on this, but they also might ask you some calculation questions. You may use a calculator on this, but I want to see your work written down, what you're putting into the calculator. If it has a percentage, I want to see your percent box. All right, how much money does she still need to pay? That sounds like a subtraction problem. I want to see your subtraction problem, but you can put it into the calculator to calculate it. So Kayla earned a scholarship that pays 75% of her college costs. Her first years of classes cost $15,000. How much money does she still need to pay? So what we need to do is this scholarship is going to pay for some of this. Okay, it's going to pay for 75% of it. So we need to figure out how much the scholarship will pay. So we're going to make a percent box. And then what percent are we given? 75%. So we're going to put it right here. And then how much is our bill? $15,000. So we are going to cross multiply and divide. And then we're going to go ahead and get the part that the scholarship pays. Okay, so if you need to, you can go ahead and pause it. Use a calculator to cross multiply and divide. All right, so when you find that number, go ahead and put it in the percent box and think, what did I just find? This $11,250 is what the scholarship pays towards that $15,000 bill. Okay, so how much money does she still need to pay? That means that I need to take my total bill and my scholarship. They're going to pay the college this much. So I'm going to take that away and see how much I still need to pay. And I need to pay $3,750. That's how much I still need to pay. So my scholarship really did cover a lot of that $15,000. So I could get a loan to cover the rest. I could get a scholarship to cover the rest. I might work to cover the rest of that bill. It just kind of depends on your plan. All right, so let's look on the back. Jamie plans to attend a college for 4 years, and the tuition and dorm cost is $21,000 a year. That means for 1 year. So she wants to go for 4 years. She receives a scholarship that will pay for half of her tuition and dorm costs. How much more, so that sounds like subtraction to me, how much more does she need for all 4 years? So first off, if this is 1 year, we need to figure out how much college is going to cost her for 4 years. So we're going to multiply this by 4. So college for all 4 years is going to cost her $84,000. All right, she is going to get a scholarship for half of it. All right, half is 50%. So I'm going to put 50% out of 100. And then I'm going to put my bill here. Now, could you just divide this by 2? Yes, but I'm going to show you if you have a different percentage than 50, how to work this. So if you cross multiply and divide, this right here is $42,000, okay, and that's how much your scholarship pays. A lot of people will put that as the answer, okay, but you have to take how much that college cost, take away how much the scholarship is going to pay. And just because this is half, we do end up with the same answer here, but normally you wouldn't. Okay, so it's going to be A. All right, number 2. Colton's parents gave him $225 every year on his birthday to save for college. All right, we're going to assume since he was born. He is now 18 and going to college. And so what we're going to do, if this is for a year, they did that 18 times. Okay, they did that 18 times. So that's going to be $4,050 that his parents saved for him. But he needs $12,000 the first year for tuition. If Colton uses all his college savings, how much more will he need for the first year? All right, so it's not talking about 4 years, it's just talking about 1 year. So this is how much he needs, and we're going to subtract, because how much his parents saved, he's gonna pay the college that. And so we have to figure out how much more will he need. That's a subtraction problem, okay? And we're going to get $7,950 that he's still left over, that he still needs to pay. So that's going to be B. So make sure you read the question at the end and make sure you're actually answering the question and not answering one of these parts, okay? Because that's there. You got to be careful. Yearly costs. Books are $1,000. Tuition is like your school classes, okay? And the fees that the college actually charges you. And then your dorm, that's where you would stay, okay? That's kind of like another room, another way for like shelter. It's a college word for shelter, basically. That's $8,050. And so if this is per year, we want to go ahead and add up all of these costs and see how much in 1 year that it's going to cost. And that's going to be $25,050. But then that's for 1 year. That's yearly. And so if I want it for 4 years, I'm going to have to multiply this by 4 and get 100,200. And so it's going to be D. All right, look for the next video on the wages, salaries, and careers.